Today, I'm going to share with you lessons learned from a case study situation of a SaaS company with 3 million in ARR and still losing $1 million a year. There is a time and place where it makes sense strategically to lose money, especially if you're growing very fast, 50 to 100% per year or more. There are certain situations where that is a valid approach and does make sense. However, if you're at 3 million, 5 million, 10 million a year in sales, and you're not growing at 100% per year, you're growing much more slowly, there is no reason you should be unprofitable, period. Period, period, period. And for this particular company, they were so focused on sales and so visionary, they had nobody on the team that was minding the expenses. Now, in our experience in working with a lot of B2B SaaS companies in our non-traditional accelerator, what we have found is that to be really successful, you need to have skills across all the functional areas. If you are weak in technology, you don't make it. If you're weak in sales, at some point, you don't make it. If you're weak on finance, you also don't make it. All those functions exist for a reason, and there's expertise and best practices and habits necessary for you to use in your SaaS company to ultimately be successful. And in this particular case, this one company was very weak in finance, and the two co-founders were not aware of that, right? In this business, blind spots will kill you. It was merciless. So in this particular case, I was working with this company and I forced them to basically audit every single expense they were spending in the company. And inside the span of about 30 to 60 days, they did this. It was painful for them. It was not something they wanted to do. They'd rather work on product or generate sales. But to their credit, they actually did what I told them to do. And they discovered they were wasting $1 million a year. And they had been doing it for about 2 to 3 years. So they had burned through $2 to almost $3 million in cash, completely unnecessary. There was no additional sales lost by cutting those expenses. It was just flat out waste. Okay. That is horrible. That is a terrible, terrible outcome. When I work with you, when you work in our accelerator, we do not let you do stupid things, okay? We do not let you do stupid things because it is so painful to watch. We just can't handle it. That's the honest truth. So one of the key things we teach and we really emphasize in the companies we work with, which are typically 2 to 20 million a year in revenue, is you have to watch your numbers. You have to track metrics. You have to know your data, and your decision-making has to be increasingly driven by data. It's not just gut feel. Fine, first million or so, you can probably wing it. And in a lot of cases, you get by. But as the business gets bigger, more successful, more complicated, it's harder to grasp the business just by walking around and looking and watching, right? You have to measure things and make calculated decisions based on data, right? So the lesson here is twofold for this particular case study. Number one, get good coverage across the board in your functional areas. If you are weak in one area, and by the way, we all are weak in some areas, right? That's okay. You can be weak in tech and still be a successful SaaS CEO, believe it or not, right? You can be weak in sales and still be a successful SaaS CEO. What you can't be is a SaaS CEO that is blind to your own weaknesses and that you don't recognize you have that weakness and you don't compensate for that with hiring outside resources or bringing some kind of expertise to have that kind of perspective well represented on your team so you don't make mistakes in those areas, right? Mistakes in SaaS are expensive. They either cost in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, or they cost you in terms of years of time wasted. Neither one is good. The key to all that is having good discipline, track your numbers, know your numbers, and of course, make decisions based off the data. Be data driven. On that note, I hope you found this lesson useful in this case study. For more case studies and more best practices, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video if you liked it, and please ask any questions or comments below. I'd be happy to answer them.